So, hey class, this is going to be the first part of the revolved parts or ball joint arm. So I'm just going to bring you up until this point to the revolution. I will show you a little bit of what we're going to do afterwards, but I think it's best that we split this in half because it will get a little complicated, but I have full confidence in you all completing this part. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a new sketch. I'm going to go ahead and hold on, hide the rest of these parts. And I'm just going to delete that. Revolve. All right, so we're going to start fresh, okay? So you should have already named it revolved part, first and last name. With that, we're going to go ahead and start our sketch. We're going to be sketching on the front plane. You can follow the instructions as well. Front plane, right, front view. Okay, first thing you're going to do is you're going to make a construction line. You're going to click line. You're going to click construction. We're going to start right here at the origin. We're going to click. We're going to stretch that all the way out. Okay. Oh, honestly, that's going to be longer than the origin. If you make that mistake, you can always edit, undo, or delete it. Let's do that one more time. We're going to click line. We're going to click construction line. We're actually going to start past the origin, and all the way to the right side of the screen. Okay. Now with that, you will have a line on top of a line. Don't get confused by that. We'll come back to that when it's that time of the direction. Now we're going to make a circle, two center point circles, one being at the origin and one being at the end of the construction line. We're not going to make it that big. Let's make it about that size. We aren't going to make these equal. I made that mistake last time. I don't want to confuse you all. These two circles are not equal, but we can sketch them to somewhat be similar. Now, our overall sketch, we have a construction line. We have another line on top of that construction line. We have two circles, right? And then we have three lines that connect those two circles. So we'll go and we'll click line. I'm going to start tangent, which just means that the line touches the circle. And remember, all of these are straight 90-degree angles, and it'll come back to circle. Okay. Now, with that, we still have to have that one line in the middle. Don't let that confuse you. We're going to start right here on the left side of the left circle, and we're going to end on the left side of the right circle. I'll show you what that looks here. Remember, this is tangent, so it's going to be on the construction line and on the circle, right? And then we're going to stretch all the way over here, tangent to that right circle on the left side. Once we click, you can go ahead and press escape. And this is what it's going to look like. Two circles, has a construction line, has one line in the middle, and it has three lines that connect all of those. Now we dimension. If that was really fast, no worries, go back, watch it again. I am going to start teaching a little faster, but you guys at any time can pause and rewind to me. So we're going to jump right to the dimensions. I'm going to zoom in over here so that you can better see those dimensions. And remember, I'm always going to look at the longest dimension first, which is 2.518. That's going to be from the origin to the edge here. We can always select these nodes or those dots. So if we zoom in, we're going to select that node, that dot. We're going to select the origin. We're going to come down here. That's going to be 2.518. We will stretch the sketch. Once we click front view, we'll be able to zoom out again. Don't feel like you've broken anything. It's just going to adapt the rest of the sketch and keep it proportional. Now what I want you guys to do, we do it a little backwards this time. 2.75, we're still on dimension. We're going to dimension from the construction line to the top line. And then we're going to zoom in over here because that's going to be 0.275. Okay. We can then give the dimension for the circle, which is going to be 0.375. I do want to remind you, if you have a radius, and yes, I did skip a step, you can either cut or you can start adding dimensions. I'm going to do it both ways so you guys can see it. This way, I know it's a little less confusing. Some of you are asking about dimensions. This is a radius. Once it's in a circle, it's doing the diameter, which means we have to multiply it by 2. So we'll have 0.375, and we can literally multiply that by 2 with a star and a 2. Press enter. That's going to be 0.75. That's the same thing. Radius 0.375 times 2 is going to be 0.75. Okay, so got 2 of our dimensions down. We are going to dimension the left side. I will also show you how to do this sketch fillet as well. Same thing. We know that radius is 0.368. So because that radius is 0.368, we are going to multiply it by 2 to get the diameter, right? So 0.368 times 2 gives us 0.736. All right. Now we are going to dimension that was it. This neck right here, we're going to dimension from the construction line up to that neck. We're really just trying to get that height, and that's going to be 0.125. Okay. And once we're there, the last thing but not least is from the origin here to this shoulder, we're going to make that 0.475. All right, now we're gonna dive right into the fillet. Before we do the fillet, now I want you to go ahead and do, now I'm gonna go ahead and add trim, that's the word I'm looking for. Trim the rest of those parts of this sketch. So we trimmed the bottom of that circle. We trimmed this arc of that circle. And then we trimmed this bottom half of this circle as well. Now you'll see that stays there, that dimension, when I press escape. The dimension stays there because it's still the dimension of the arc. So it really doesn't matter as long as it gets that arc dimension. Whoop, almost messed up there. Do not want that. Okay, now we're going to zoom right here. I'm going to show you how to do a sketch fillet. Let me check time. Good. A sketch fillet is just going to smooth over any corners. We can just type in fillet here, and we'll be able to do the sketch fillet. That's going to be clicking one side of the corner and clicking the other side of the corner. You see that fillet, that radius pops right up. We are going to click that radius. We're going to change that from a 0.25 to a 0.05. Significant difference. You'll see a change, and we're going to do that same thing for each one. Don't worry, you're literally just clicking in between each side, and now we are going to add that fillet to every radius that we just clicked. Okay, I can do that one more time for you. Literally all you're doing is clicking in between each edge. We're going to click fillet. We'll click one side of the edge, another side of the edge of that corner. It's going to fillet that corner. We're going to change that radius to be 0.005. It's already saved. I'm going to press enter. And I'm going to keep doing this for each corner that I'm going to use. You see that it prompts me to use the left click button to check it. I can click. Now all my fillets are done. I can press enter. All my fillets are there. The rest of my sketch is there. And it's looking good. Now I know that we have a couple minutes I'm going to show you one more way of doing this, which is just going to be adding the trim first and then dimensioning. I'll show you both ways so that you can see it, and then we'll end with the revolve. We'll end with the revolve. So let's do this. Go back, replacing all the dimensions. We'll start back to where we were. I did a little too much. Whoops, that's not what I wanted at all. I don't even know what that was. Okay, so this is back to where we had just finished our sketch. And this is when it will prompt us to trim. I did skip this step because, like I said, I thought many of you would like the mindset of adding the dimensions first. If this is fine with you and you want to go ahead and trim it and then add dimensions, perfectly fine. I'll show you both ways. So we're going to trim the bottom circle, same places that we're trimming again. We're going to trim the smaller part of this arc. We're going to trim the bottom of this circle as well as the back end of this circle. And those are all the places that we are going to trim. Now we're going to go back and add dimensions. Sometimes I'll have you add dimensions first. Sometimes I'll have you finish the sketch. You should be comfortable doing both. But I will show you both just in case. Now we're adding our dimensions. Remember, longest dimension first. From the origin to this node, that's going to be 2.518. Press enter. It will stretch the rest of your sketch. Let's again do it from the right side. We're going to add that arc. Now watch. Now, because it's not a circle, and we're not dealing with diameter, now it's going to be arc. So it's going to be 0.375. We are good. We're going to do that height right here. The height right here is going to be 0.275. 0.275. We're going to go over here to this shoulder neck area. Shoulder neck head. There you go. And we're going to add this height. Is going to be 0.125. Then we're going to add this radius. Again, it's not a circle, so we can use the radius, which is 0.368. The shoulder, we're going to click that shoulder to the, there it goes, to the origin, and that's going to be 0.475. And last but not least, we're going to add our fillets, but you guys already know how to do that. That does not change. We're going to click fillet. We're going to click between the two edges, left and right side of the edges. It already remembers that I want to do that with a 0.05. I'll click on my mouse. I'm going to keep going down and adding fillets. Click on my mouse. One more fillet I'm going to add. Click on my mouse. Go back to front view. Check my time. Perfect timing. We are going to add that revolve. Click revolve. Once you click revolve, you see that it already highlighted your sketch. Now you have to click the revolve axis. It will not revolve if you do not assign an axis to revolve across. If this is my water bottle and I had a construction line down the middle, and I just sketched half of that water bottle, I need to click that construction line in order to revolve and complete the model. I'm going to click revolve axis. I'm going to click that construction line. That's why it's so important. Click that construction line. You'll see it revolve. I will click check mark. I will let you see this in the isometric view. That is the completed revolution, right? With the last couple of seconds, I'm going to show you a little bit of what we're going to do. We are going to start a sketch on the top plane. Start a sketch on the top plane. We're going to go to the top view. And actually what you're going to end up sketching is this. You're going to sketch along the edge this circle, and it will help you get into the following sketch. That is the time. I do want to pause here, and we will pick up everything else in the second part of this recording. Take care.